It's a poignant realization that we may one day need a tombstone to mark our existence. Those who truly make a mark on the world often don't require such markers, as their impact endures in the hearts and minds of others. I want to challenge you from this day forward, and I believe I was sent here from my country to tell you to live in such a way from this point on that you wouldn't need a tombstone. Everybody says legacy. I want to begin with a statement that may shock you. That is, Jesus Christ never built a building. You know, most of us in our leadership passion, we believe that if we can build structures, they will become our legacy. But I remember when I went to visit Haiti after the earthquake and I saw a 170-year-old city collapsed in rubble. I walked away with an awareness that your legacy should never be in buildings. Jesus never built a building. I want to talk about building a legacy for the next generation, how to secure your future. Jesus never built a building. Do you know why? Because he built people. People outlast buildings, outlast. He focused on selecting a few people and poured his life into them. The greatest investment in life is in people. Matter of fact, 10% of our population controlled 90% of all the wealth. And one of the things I noticed is that they never taught us to be leaders. As a matter of fact, they taught us to be dependent. This is very serious. They don't know what to do with leadership. They are not taught to be leaders. And so they have a spirit of intimidation, fear. They apologize for being successful. They are afraid to succeed because they were taught to be falsely humble. You know, most great missionaries that come to our countries, they love to have us almost worship them. And they hide information from us so that there's a spirit of awe around them. But this man decided, I'm going to train people. I'm going to teach them what I know. I'm going to teach them how to become leaders themselves. This is a spirit of legacy. We build buildings to build people. You shouldn't build a building to put your name on it. Every building you build should produce people who are leaders. True legacy is in people, not in projects, programs, and buildings. And Jesus knew that. If you study all the great leaders in history, true leaders, they always focused on people. David focused on Solomon, and he gave him his crown. Jesus focused on Peter, and he gave him the church. Elijah focused on Elisha, and he gave him his cloak. This is the spirit of legacy. I want to suggest a couple of things to you. True leaders are the key to a new world, and nothing happens without leadership. Nothing improves without leadership. Nothing changes without leadership. Nothing progresses unless someone takes leadership. Nothing succeeds without leadership. Leadership is the key to transforming the world. So if we're going to be successful, we need true leaders. True leaders do not focus on themselves. They focus on other people. And this is why we need to remember this principle. Good leaders employ others, but great leaders deploy others. Good leaders employ other people, but great leaders deploy. Here's another principle to remember. Leadership is not measured by how many people serve you. It's measured by how many people you serve. You know, I've watched people in the ministry walk around the world, and they got these large entourages, people shining their shoes for them, carrying their Bibles, and somehow there seems to be a spirit which says, the more people that serve me assure how important I am. But the Bible is opposite to that. The greatest among you shall be who is the servant of everyone, not them serving you. That's why my only entourage is my wife, and she's my bodyguard. That's all I need, because your wife is your most precious jewel. So the goal of leadership is to serve people. True leaders also learn from others, but they never become them. It's important for you to be a student and learn from other people. True leaders never graduated from the school of life. They are constantly learning. True leaders are also those who lead others to leadership, and that's what legacy is about. It's about producing leaders, not maintaining followers. In other words, managers think of the next position, but leaders think of the next generation. When you mentor people, you transfer the anointing to them by association. Who are you training? Who are you mentoring? Matter of fact, the greatest act of leadership is mentoring. Here's why. If what you learn, achieve, accumulate, or accomplish dies with you, then you are a failure. All the knowledge that you have accumulated, all this great work that you've accomplished, all of the great projects you have achieved, if it all dies when you die, you failed. So what kind of leaders do we need? First of all, we need leaders who are not preoccupied with protecting themselves, but who are more concerned about producing their legacy. We need leaders who feel they owe a debt to the future. We need leaders who think more of the next generation than about the next position in the organization. I have to produce people to preserve this organization. The name of David Roberts is still around. He's gone, but we still live on. And we still call his name because he didn't just produce buildings, he produced people. I think the greatest gift you can give the world is your mentee. We need leaders who are more dedicated to history than they are to money. What do I mean by that? You are more concerned about producing people who will preserve the organization than you are about becoming rich. And that's why the passion of this ministry is training. It's about transfer. It's about building people. Mentoring, therefore, is the manifestation of the highest level of maturity in leadership. Only mature people want others to be greater than they are. A person who is insecure and doesn't know who they really are will never train people. They will oppress people. I love the words of Jesus, the greatest leader of all times. Let me quote what he said. It is better for you that I go away. Some folks never want to leave too. Mature people create people greater than themselves. If I do not go away, you will not do greater works than I have done. But if I go away, you will do greater works. He wanted his disciples to be greater because he was secure in himself. You will die one day. So, train your replacement now. Legacy is about preserving your future, not protecting your past. True leaders do not seek followers. Followers are attracted to true leaders. This is leadership. Leadership wants to meet your needs, not you meet their needs. He also said this to me. Leadership is not a right. It is a privilege. People don't have to follow you. So you must appreciate them when they decide to follow you. Respect them, build them, invest in them, because great leaders always respect those who submit to them, not abuse them. The greatest obligation of true leadership is to transfer your deposit to the next generation. That's your greatest obligation. Leadership success is measured by the success of your successor. No matter how great you may have been, if you didn't produce a successor, you are a failure. This is true of parents, preachers, and politicians. If you are a parent, my question is, are you mentoring your children? Not just parroting them, but mentoring them to preserve what you've built. Can you turn all that you've built over to your son, and he will not sell it? Did you train your daughter to appreciate the value that you've built for the last 60 years? Legacy is about preserving all that you've accomplished through other people. In other words, success without a successor is failure. No matter how successful you are, if you didn't produce a successor, you failed. And Jesus knew, I have to produce successors. He spent 5.5 years training those 12 men. When he left, his work grew in his absence. Isn't it incredible that after he was gone, his organization expanded? I wonder if your ministry will die when you die, or will it expand because you train your replacement? There should not be a fight for the spoils when you die. There should be a transition, because any leadership that only serves its generation is destined to fail. The minute you hit the age of 50, it's time to start passing, because 50 is a generation. Take a deep breath. So if you're 50 years old, it's already too late. You got to catch up. Jesus began his work at age 30. He started early. I just want to encourage you to remember the spirit of this great ministry. The ultimate goal of leadership is not to maintain followers, but to produce leaders. True leadership is measured by the success of the followers and the decreasing dependency of the followers. Never confuse your position with your value. Your position doesn't make you valuable, and the problem is, if you depend on your position to be valuable, then you better never lose the position. Thank you for listening to this message, as we hope that it has been a blessing to you. Our goal is to show you new paths and opportunities so that you can discover your purpose.